Humility. That's a virtue and a flaw of mine. Hi, my name's Ben. Thanks for tuning into the problem of being awake. And I want to talk a bit about humility and where it applies and how it's not just a virtue, it's something you constantly need to be checking in with, in my opinion, because it's something you can constantly be getting out of whack with. So I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. But I don't need anyone else to know those things particularly. But I certainly don't need to tell them that. They might learn that through observation time or an initial response. But that's for them to learn, not for me to say necessarily. Like if someone says, "What I do for a living," I'll tell them. But if someone says something like, this has a real life example that happened to me recently. I was in a situation where it was a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, of which I've been long-standing member, and the question asked is are any of us here doctors? And I said, well, yes, but not a medical doctor. Now, that's ridiculous because I know what that question means. It means, is anyone here a medical doctor? Because it's about prescribing medicines. I can't do that. I have a doctorate, but it's not. It's in psychology, but it's not in psychiatry. So I can't prescribe. I can't write a prescription for anybody. So therefore, the answer to that question was no. But I had to, for some reason, chip in that I have a doctorate. Why? Because I was being arrogant and unhumble, and for some reason, my brain thought, here's a good time to show off. There's never a good time to show off. It's not something people like in others. And, you know, if you're good at something, people will learn about it. They'll learn easily what your talents are and aren't. You'll know them, but you don't need to spread them. And, you know, I repeat that because it's quite often people tell you, you know, what they're good at, what they've done well. Also, if you've done something kind for somebody, let's say you bought someone some flowers, you don't need to say, I bought you some flowers, they're in the sink. Because they're going to pass the sink, and they're going to know you bought them flowers. Now, that's much nicer for them than you telling them. They'll like the fact that you told them, but they'll love the fact that you didn't tell them, but they found them by surprise. So, humility is the seeking of praise, really. I see it that way. And validity is the other side to it. And I think as adults, we need to keep it in check that we are being as humble as we can be. We will make mistakes, we'll falter, that everybody does. That we have character flaws for a reason, because they need to be kept in check over the course of life. They're kind of part of who we are. We can't be all good or all bad. I do find the younger generation lack humility as a virtue, which is slightly disturbing, because I wish they did see more value in being humble. It would certainly help with a lot of causes, and it would certainly make it easier for people in, let's say, the transgender or the big woke culture or the big white privilege culture be more easily integrated into modern society when those pillars come tumbling down, and they will soon. So humility is something I would always encourage instilling into children. Let other people tell you how good you are. Let other people tell you how well you did. Even though you know it. It's nice to hear it. And it's much nicer to hear it than it is to say it to the person involved. And that's an absolute cast iron guarantee. You won't get away from that. If you're a kid and you come up and say, look how good I was, I scored 3 goals. You're going to get no real emotional feeling from them. If your father or mother comes up to you after a game of football and says, you were amazing, you scored a hat-trick, you're going to beam with pleasure and they're going to be beaming with pride. It's a very different experience. So I think we should instill that into young people. I'll leave it there on this subject. If you liked it, do share and subscribe. If you didn't, you've already gone, so never mind. I wish you well. And I will speak to you soon.